Now we go back to, so what grip wise, as you can see there on this left hand one, is a lot better. You've got your right pad nicely sort of there with the elbow sort of facing forward, and the grip now can sit in the fingers, I guess sort of longer down the fingers. So rather than being in the palm and just smothering your hand over, popping your elbow out, your shoulder feels a bit awkward, just in the palm there, just slide down the grip some more towards the fingers there. It's going to get your grip more neutral. You can still keep that elbow in the right spot. And with this swing, as I said, in terms of the movement, okay, turning back nicely, maintaining a good bit of width there, okay, back into the golf ball there, just strike. Ain't no flip on that, is there? That's good. I mean, there's no flip in terms of the strike on that there. That's a good thing. And I think this is the process we want to try and go through. So you check the grip, yeah, practice the swing plane, swing hitting the ball, you focus on that hip, that separation, that shift to target, okay? So you're away from the ball, you're doing this, getting the club feeling like it's going miles behind you here. There's nobody, and you're doing this now really good. Whereas the first time you started this, it just looked a bit awkward. You didn't sort of feel like you could do it properly. This looks really, you could put that side by side with you and Justin Rose and they look exactly the same, yeah? You're literally doing exactly the same movement. Arms are falling down nicely, no body rotation, spot on there. You do that, you get that sensation, let the club fall down here, an exaggeration, yeah? Set yourself the golf ball, check your grip's good, in the right position, the hands there, okay? And then we just think now in terms of the swing, we're going to focus on that hip. Top of the backswing, a good spot. As that club is coming back down there, there's your club shaft roughly. That's a little bit, yeah. But it's within that wheelhouse of where we want to be, okay? We've seen it, and I say, going back to, trying to remind you when it was going, we've seen the club shaft in line with your left forearm there, literally just chopping in the ground, and then you do that, it hurts, okay? So I say I'll put through a little cheat sheet through on the text, but just put on here and stuff. If you're hooking it, so the ball is doing that, more than likely it's the grip. Your grip's got underneath too much with the right hand. Check the grip, yeah? That's your first kind of port of call, okay? What you do when it's going that way is you try to not go that way by sending it that way. And then your strike gets horrible, your toe strikes at the ground, you start rising up, you get the heel extension and all that kind of stuff we've talked about, and it's a terrible golf shot the other direction. You might get the odd one, it'll just sort of go straight, but it's two wrongs making a right. That's not the ideal way of doing it, okay? So that's kind of the first thing there, okay? If you're hitting the ball nicely and saying the ball starts creeping out here, your grip is good and you've got a little bit steep, okay, and you're getting a bit stuck, or you're blocking off. I think the term I use, you're hanging on to it, you're holding on to the club face, almost like a cricket shot, just blocking out to the right, yeah? Okay. I would say 9 times out of 10, when it goes right, it's never really a good strike. Mm-hmm. It's always a bit toey, clunky, fatty, thinny, or whatever, yeah? When it goes left, if it's a good strike, I would say it's more like the grip. If it's not a good strike and it's hooking left, you've probably gone a little bit steep, and you're kind of steep and smothery, yeah? So that's generally sort of the checkpoints you're going to go through. And I say, I'll write this on a bit of a cheat to sort of go through like dum, 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 bit by bit, okay? You need to then work back and go, right, okay, what am I hitting? Which thing do I need to fix? Do I need to work more on getting this swing plane, getting back here? Or have I got to double check my grip? Or have I got to start working on this hip, yeah? The ones you get a little bit fatty before the ball or a bit thin, probably are more the hip not doing that movement, it's moving through the wall there. Yeah. You're probably just sort of pivoting this way or doing some other jazzy thing there, okay? So at least you've got a sequence to practice. So it starts off practice plane, doing all this here to get that feeling there. So exaggeration there. When you're hitting the golf ball, as a swing thought now, the hip's the movement. We're going to swing back, hit the ball, and we can finish with that swing. Yeah, pretty much just dead straight down the line of the golf ball, as you saw with those last few shots. I think if we're getting some numbers you had there, 8 times at 150 carry, and as you said, almost feeling perfect, it's a much better process, and you're not almost then panicking when a shot does go a little bit offline, a bit left or a bit right. They're just good shots, yeah? They're not perfect, but they're reasonable shots, okay? Yeah. So that should hopefully answer the reasons when we get the bad shots. The ones you said you get quite a few times, a bit thinny but straight. For me, the ones you get thin as straight are when you've got the club, rather than being here, you've got the club here, yeah, more in line with your forearm, okay? And you're just slightly rising up because you've always still got that mindset of it might hurt a little bit if I hit the ground a bit hard, yeah? So when that club works a bit shallow, where they're hitting the ground, you should be hitting the ground like this, you see, yeah? Whereas if you come steep, you're hitting the ground like that, and it will hurt. So psychologically, your brain's going to always just favour the sort of the less painful option, which is just rising that club a little bit. If you're doing that, in some ways, keep doing it, yeah? Just keeping those sort of thin, cleany ones, yeah? Because the club's working from a good angle, you get a nice little straight shot or a little draw. keep doing that, because that's going to ingrain that plane foot.
And then I suppose I can eventually just try and get a little bit lower.
You just find the low point, and you have to do it. And the thing is, you don't want to try and make these micro movements, because you try and move that much, you'll thump the ground behind the ball. Yeah, a lot. The change need to be made when the shots are a long way offline. When it's a little bit thin or a little bit pushed and a little bit pulled, and they're kind of like that or like that or like that, we crack on. Because it's such a small little adjustment, you're not going to make that small little change anyway. So,
let's golf.
Okay, makes sense, mate.